And what would your dad say about what you did in San Francisco?
He'd say it'd be a mistake to push a man to violence. If violence is what he has dedicated his life to perfecting.
Oh, Masculinity is making a comeback, and I, for one, welcome its triumphant return as we look forward here into the 2020s. I mean, I guess it's time to get started. Are we going to see the return of the 80s action superhero like Stallone and Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis? You know, the heroes that celebrate and idealize the unique roles that men serve in our society. It's beginning to look like it might be the way the wind is blowing, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. This is the Terminal List. It's a series the wife and I just finished watching, starring Chris Pratt, based on a series of novels, I'm finding out, by a genuine Navy SEAL commander, former Navy SEAL commander called Jack Carr. And it follows Pratt, who's playing Lieutenant Commander James Reese. And it starts off, there's an ambush on his platoon, and he essentially has to, he uncovers a conspiracy that will force him to go down a very dark path indeed and take matters into his own hands. I described it on Twitter. I was just so excited about this show. I described it on Twitter as Jason Bourne meets John Wick, all set in a Tom Clancy novel. It has that whole vibe to it, that whole feel to it. But you can actually see from that clip that I just played that it also really reminds me in times. There's one particular episode where he's out there in the in the hills, running away from I guess it's a SEAL team or something. And reminds me of First Blood. You know, you've got that man who's been betrayed by the system, and he's being pushed to violence because he has no other option. But the Terminal List itself, it's a lot like the Reacher, equally enjoyable Reacher TV show, in that it's a pure revenge tale. It's actually like a revenge fantasy. That's how I'm sort of thinking it. It's like and like I said, like John Wick, he's truly is this James Reese character. He is an unstoppable killing machine. And to watch him work, it's you you sort of put your morality to the side. It becomes incredibly cathartic. And as you watch every well-deserved kill, you find yourself sitting there celebrating, or at least nodding along. You're like, yes, yes. Chris Pratt has come a very long way since what was it? What's that show he was in? Parks and Recreation, I think. I didn't watch it, but I've seen all the gifs and memes and everything. This one here is James Reese. This was a demanding role as an actor, and I think he nailed it. The trauma and sort of the PTSD, the depiction of the deep love he has for his family, all of that plays a key role in the actual plot of this show. So, and I think he really nailed it. And and actually the whole sort of military aspect of it, I'm told that Jack Carr here. This is the guy who wrote it. This is the ex Navy SEAL commander himself. Look at this. There's a whole series of these books. And so, maybe there'll be more of these, more James Reese stories coming along the way. But I'm told that Jack Carr, was actually, he was instrumental in the whole creation of the TV show. He was there to make sure it was all fully accurate, all the military details, the techniques. That's where it feels a bit more like Jason Bourne in that sense, where this guy has a unique, or like Taken, this guy has a very unique set of skills that he utilizes in every single episode to overcome the obstacles in his way. But there's hand-to-hand combat. There's obviously a lot of gunplay. A lot of military stuff. So it was really good to see that a guy who was really there. He lived it I think Jack Carr was a SEAL for 20 years or something. Yeah, all the special ops stuff, it's all very accurate. And Chris Pratt really, I mean, to me, as someone who doesn't know anything about this stuff, I mean, he really played the part. It was very believable. As for the show itself, I think it takes a couple of episodes to sort of find its footing. You don't really figure out in the first 2 or so episodes what kind of show it's really going to be. But I think by the 3rd and 4th episode, especially, it really starts picking up the pace, and it does not let up. It does not let up, and it sticks the landing, which you love to see. It comes to a nice, satisfying conclusion. And hey, look, they say that art reflects the time that it was made in, and it couldn't be more true in this case. In this world today, it feels like every institution that we know has been taken over by some evil Machiavellian types, the types that are seeking to subvert and destroy everything, seemingly everything we hold dear. These kinds of stories, look, they really resonate. They're really resonating with me. I've heard nothing bad about the Terminal List, not massively anyway. And at the same time, while you got these massive franchises like Star Wars and Marvel Cinematic Universe going down weird paths, increasingly dismissing things like traditional masculinity, uh, and chasing after other strange things that very few of us understand or even interested in. They seem to be losing relevance month by month as they go down that path. What's so dumb about it all is this whole deconstructing and belittling masculinity. It's all done because they're chasing the female demographic, which is, I mean, that's a good thing. Everyone, the more people who are watching these movies, consuming these TV shows or whatever, the more money these studios making. Great. Okay, cool. But you only need to look at the most popular say novels that are read by women. What sort of escapist fantasies are they into? They're romance novels, the kind of novels where you get this big muscly dangerous dude who takes control and is there to protect them. Like, that's what most women are into when they're looking to delve into this escapist sort of fantasy storytelling. And that's the biggest secret that these studios seem to have forgotten. I don't know how, I don't know why, but you put out this sort of stuff, both men and women enjoy these kinds of characters. And that seems to be reflected in you got so it's little wonder that shows like John Wick, new IPs. You got Reacher, that was a big success, and now you got Terminal List. Check this out, Top Gun. Top Gun passes Titanic as the 7th highest grossing release in domestic box office history. I think it says it down here. It made $2.2 billion globally. It was an absolute behemoth. And contrast that with Thor. What was it? Love and Thunder. I mean, it did okay. It made half a billion dollars, made 500 million. But this is supposed to be the pinnacle of a masculine character. But Thor's been deconstructed, and some might say emasculated by the MCU at this point, and it's not really resonating with audiences. It definitely didn't light the fire under them that Top Gun did. That's for sure. Thor can't keep up. And now we've got David Zaslav over at Warner Brothers Discovery now with his meat cleaver of justice, going after anything and everything that's not making money over there. I tell you, they listen to these Twitter weirdos for far too long. They were able to get away with it because they were piggybacking off giants who came before them and built these massive franchises and built the industry. But eventually, I tell you, the chickens, they come home to roost, and there will be certain executives, let's just say it like that, certain decision makers who are going to have to start answering to the studio heads for these creative decisions that they're making. I'm going to be looking very closely at this one. I saw this trending. Amazon insiders say it's $1 billion Lord of the Rings series. $1 billion. Can you even imagine? Will determine the company's streaming future. I'm going to make a prediction. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, guys. You don't have to wait too long for new stuff. There's already stuff out there. If you enjoy something, if you enjoy shows like Terminal List, like Reacher, like John Wick, maybe you might turn your head to what's happening in the comic book world. This is a comic book by the most manly of all comic book creators, the great, estimable Graham Nolan, co-creator of Bane. You probably remember Bane, don't you? He's making comic books here. They're available through this site here. It's called CG Now. This is one of his latest ones. He also made one called Two-Fisted Manly Tales. It's not available on this site yet, but it will be soon, hopefully. This is his sci-fi western, Alien Alamo. It's available here on CG Now, along with many other titles you should check out. You won't find any deconstructed and belittled masculinity in any of these books. Just good escapist fantasy, awesome comic book action. And if you enjoyed this video, please do give it a like, consider subscribing, get that notification bell on, maybe become a member of the channel. That would be awesome as well. All right, I will see you next time. Bye.